Welcome to Costly Conversations. I'm super excited because we have a very special guest, two-time champion, Nina De La Flores. So we have a lot of questions for her. Like, what has she been doing since the last interview? But enough of that. Let's go ahead and get into it. What's going on, Des?
Hey, what's up?
Hey. So we're going to be taking questions live here on the show. And if there's a bunch of questions, we will go ahead and save some for the end and, let you answer them. But just getting started, Des, how have you been? Has it been 2 years yet?
I think it has been 2 years since I was last on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, time flies. It really flies. But I've been
Yeah.
good. I feel like I've grown a lot in my profession and in the 2A space. Like I've gotten to get out and network and meet a lot more of the instructors that I met on social media or was just meeting on social media the last time that we talked. I had the opportunity to go to SHOT Show this year finally, and that was super fun. And I have a whole lot of just other stuff going on now that I'm like super excited to share with y'all.
Yeah, for real. Like your social media presence has grown tremendously. And
Yeah.
that's just one of your accomplishments. You're more than the numbers per se, but your social media presence has gone from, I think when we were talking, you were like at 5,000 followers, something meager, something regular. And now you're one of the superstars at 100,000 plus. I mean, some of your videos are reaching 1 million plus people, which is
Yeah.
insane. Could you imagine
It's
sitting in
insane.
front of 1 million people, like just
No.
talking? I might
Uh-uh.
die.
Yeah, like for sure. No, it's insane to me still. I still don't really know. Like, people are always asking me, what's the secret sauce? Like, how did you grow your social media presence? And I'm just like, it was happen chance, low key. I don't know. Like, I don't have a formula. I don't have a method for how much I post or how often or what types of content. I just, when I get an idea or when I'm reading certain comments and people are asking the same question over and over, I'm like, make a video. And then they kind of just like blow up. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And it just goes like that. There's no method to the madness. I appreciate it. I appreciate the growth, but I don't have the recipe.
Right.
Like,
And
I'm
and
just
I,
trying
I think
to,
more people should be honest about that. And because
yeah,
there's a lot of people who are like, oh yeah, it was this and this and this. But really they maybe have a great magnetic personality. I know you do have a great personality and you share a lot. And I
well,
think
thank
people feel like they can connect with you on kind of a real level, like you're a real human being.
you. Yes. That's what I try. That's what I try to stick to. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, with that, let's talk a little bit about the hometown hero because I know you've been nominated for some awards in your local town. I know you're based out of Arkansas, which I think that's
Mhm.
public information. You're a
Yeah.
trainer, instructor, and people do. I guess they know you for that now. Like it's not just oh
Yeah.
she's a girl from the city. Like no, you're an instructor. Instructor. You're
Uh-huh.
online. What's that like?
Yeah. Uh, it's weird sometimes. Honestly, the whole award ceremony thing, the Hometown Hero Award, caught me by surprise. I really was not. Well, I wasn't expecting that at all. But I don't know why. I don't know. It kind of caught me by surprise. But I'm super appreciative of it. It's kind of like that particular award is like someone who's doing like a public service to the community, and I was like super thankful that my community recognized this as a public service because as you know sometimes it's like really hard to get people to see the value in like civilian gun ownership, so a lot of people just kind of push it to the side. The fact that they even acknowledged it as a good thing, I was like, yes, like that's great. So I was super excited about that.
Yeah.
It is
No, I
kind of
mean
weird.
it's got to be weird. And I do want to just note that being that,
Yeah.
like you said, people do often associate firearms and even firearms education with some sort of like violence or just the lies that, big media pushes. I think it's fantastic that you've been able to share what you share in such a way that people are like, yes, this is a positive thing. And maybe some of them don't quite fully understand it, but I think it's fantastic that you are
they're
able to share it in such a way.
Yeah, they're coming around, so I'm thankful for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
It,
definitely.
So like in my own hometown because it's kind. I was talking to one of my friends about this. Nina is not my real name. Like a lot of people don't know that. My name is Destiny Johnson, and Nina De La Flores has always been my social media handle. So when I started my business, actually 3 years ago, when I first started, I never changed my social media handle. I just kind of like let it ride, and then it started to stick. So I didn't want to change it because I'm like, people are going to look up my name and can't find me because it's different. It has nothing to do with my real name. I just kind of go by
Right.
Nina online. It's like a 2A moniker, but my name is Destiny. So being at home in my hometown or whatever and having people call me Nina because they found me on social media, even though we live in the same city and I've never met them before, it's kind of weird. Like it's a lot to get used to,
Right.
but it's cool. Like I'm glad the message is getting out there.
It's funny because, for those who don't know, my name is Aaron, and on my gun pages and whatnot, I go by Armed Atlas. So that should be apparent. It's in the little title here, right here.
Mm-hmm.
But my camera guy, he's like the only one. So like every time he sees me, he's like, "What's up, Armed Atlas?" It's like he's just messing with me. But for you, you're a big deal. So that's that's
I mean,
cool.
I always call you that. I always forget your real name because, like, when I'm on social media all day, I see everybody's social media handles. So I
Right.
call everybody that. Like when I met Body by O, like I
Right.
don't even
Yeah.
remember his real name. Like he
I think it's
told me,
like
I know Tasha's real
Oliver,
name.
Junior Oliver. Which one is it? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah, 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 yeah. That's it right there. But
Right.
I would just call everybody by their social media handles. I don't know why it just sticks.
Right. So, what would you say? How much time do you spend on social media, period? And then how much time do you spend like actually developing ideas or putting together the videos? I mean, it's like maybe 15 to 60 seconds for a video, but how long does that take?
Yeah. You know, people ask me a whole lot like, what app do you use to edit your videos or like how long does it take you to do X, Y, and Z? I I don't know. I didn't realize that creating content was supposed to be so complicated because I edit all of my videos in the Instagram app. Like I don't use other other apps or anything like that. And when I have an idea, I just bring my what's it called? This thing, my little tripod. I
Hmm.
just bring my ring light tripod over here, record it. If I mess up, redo it until I get it right, and then just post the video. Like I don't put a whole lot of thought into it. It's just like whenever I get an idea,
I mean,
I
you
spend
put
a
out a
lot.
lot of videos, so it can't be that hard in the sense that if it was really stressful for you, you probably just wouldn't do it.
No, like, and then when I do get overwhelmed, like I don't. So that's part of the problem. Like
Right.
I'm not as consistent with social media as I wish that I was. So I don't have a method, but when I'm
Yeah.
ready, I just record a video, post a video, and go on about my business. I didn't know that people put so much work into their content, like, because I don't. But I do spend a lot of time just like scrolling, like looking for ideas, content ideas, even not just from 2A content creators, but like other niche creators. Like,
Hmm.
I usually get, I don't know the science behind this, but I usually get like a lot of good ideas from like realtors and like real estate developers.
I
Like,
mean, they
I
got to
don't
be
know,
on top of it. They're selling $300,000 products.
yeah, yeah, they have really cool content. So I follow a lot of those pages to get content ideas to just kind of make it relate to like
Hmm.
firearms in the 2A
What
space.
would you
So
say is an example of you taking maybe real estate or some other niche and then going in and applying it to your space, the firearms Second Amendment education space?
it's kind of just like the type of content that they post. Say if they do like a viral sound and they're like, oh, these are like 3 things you need to know before you buy a house. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll do 3 things you need to know before you buy a gun. Like I just do something simple like that. Like I don't put a lot of thought into it, but it's cool.
Yeah, no, that's actually really cool. Because really, if it's working in one niche, it should, in theory, work for other people. I mean, people are people, but I guess there is some crossover that just maybe wouldn't work. Have you ever run into a trend that you're like, yo, this should hit, and it just people aren't interested?
I can't say that I have like so far. No, I honestly can't.
So every time you put something out, it just snap. Gotcha.
Well, I don't know. Like, I mean, some videos do better than others, but I don't think that I've ever like posted content that was just like, nah, this not it, or this isn't right, or I don't think I've ever had that experience.
Sure. Now, did you ever see yourself here? You know, having a huge social media following, having opportunities to work with brands and people. Was it Century Arms, Canic? They sent you a gun recently. Like, have you ever even did you even consider that this could be a path?
No.
At what point did
It's
you realize
so
that
hard
this was
to
happening?
do. You said what?
I said, at what point did you realize this was happening?
Did I realize it was happening?
Mm-hmm.
When people in my hometown started calling me by my social media name,
Yeah, just like that.
like my presence is getting really large, like even to the point where it's reaching like right back at home, and that's kind of cool. But this was never a plan for me. Even when I first started my Firearms Academy, which was in 2020, 3 years ago, I never expected it to get this big. I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna keep my little job, and on the weekends, I'm gonna teach women how to defend themselves, and that's just it. I never expected it to go this far. So it's still kind of odd for me. It's hard to get used to when I'm out and about and I'm like, I have to remember that I'm a public figure because the
Yeah,
the
that's got to be crazy. Like, you can't just go somewhere
it
and
is like
act wild because
I
people
will
will
do
know.
something like just wake up and I want to go outside and walk my dog and I'll just like have my robe on and then I'm like I can't go outside with a robe on. I'm a public figure. Like somebody's gonna recognize me and I don't like it. Like I really don't like it. I wish I could just move about life like the way that I was 4 years ago. But since this has happened, I always have to keep that at the forefront of my mind. My friends get on to me a lot about it, so like it's an
Yeah,
adjustment. It's
like you.
cool.
So, are you ever like, man, I can't go outside in a bonnet because someone's going to take a picture of me and it's going
Oh
to be
yeah,
a big deal?
I never anyway. Like
You
I
never did
never
that,
walk
anyways.
outside. Nah, see, my mom was like really big. They I grew up in a Christian household, so they were really big on like image and like you're a reflection of me type of thing. So I just never walk out of the house looking crazy. But sometimes I have a lazy day where I don't want to do all this. I just want to walk outside, and then I remember somebody might be like, "Oh, that's the gun lady." It
That's the
happens to
gun
me when
lady.
I'll go through like Starbucks drive-through, and they're like, "Hey, aren't you that lady?" I'm just like, "Bruh, I just want a coffee." But oh yeah, let's have a conversation about firearms. So it's fun though. You
Obsidian
know,
Training Group
when I was
said
in
we're going to
college,
see
I
Des
wanted to
on
be a
TMZ
pharmacist.
if she's wilding out.
What do you say?
He said we're going to see Des on TMZ if she's wilding out.
Nah, I definitely don't well out. Definitely not. I was supposed to be a pharmacist. I don't know how I ended up a viral firearms instructor. Like
Did you go to
that
school
was
for
my
pharmacy?
no. Well, yes. So I got a full ride scholarship to the University of Central Arkansas. My major was pharmacy related the first 2 years, but then I switched it because I changed my mind. So like I was already on the path of not doing that anyway, but I never expected this path. So
Well, that's interesting. What would you say are some of the family values that you started out with? I know you said you grew up in a household that was a specific way. Do you feel like any of those family values kind of translate into your work, or did you kind of like really just shed those and become your own person entirely?
mm, I think it's really difficult to shed them because I grew up in such a religious household, and I won't say that I'm like super duper religious anymore, but the values, like just being a good person, morality, and all of that, it very much translates into my work as a firearm instructor, and it's kind of hard to separate the two because, for example, when I'm teaching classes and I get people in my classes who are like just acting really excited to kill, it rubs me the wrong way because that's not why we're doing what we're doing. Right? I don't ever
As
want to
it
kill a
should.
person.
It should rub you the
Yeah,
wrong
like
way. I mean, that's not cool.
yeah, just because I'm a firearms instructor, I carry a gun every day. It doesn't mean I'm itching to use it every day.
Right.
I just want to be back home every day. So I've gotten that question from like my relatives and especially like my older relatives. They're like, "How do you reconcile, being a firearms instructor and teaching people how to kill, but you're a Christian?" And I'm like, I, it's a question that I never really thought about before, but I'm like, if somebody's trying to kill me, I think it's my God given right to defend myself and not allow the devil to take me out. Like, right? I don't think
Right.
I should just
Well,
roll over because I'm a Christian. I still have the
unfortunately,
right to defend
I
myself.
don't have the exact scripture to reference it. I
Yeah.
apologize to everyone who's listening. But there actually are like verses in the Bible that specifically state that, hey, if somebody's coming into your house at night threatening you, you can defend yourself with whatever force is necessary. And then
Yeah.
there's some morality clauses in there that basically indicate like if somebody comes in during the day, you should interact with them differently. And I always took that to mean, and forgive me if I'm not interpreting the scripture correctly, that just depending on the situation and the totality of circumstances, you do have the right to act, proportionately. And
Right.
some people, they don't view the world like that. Like if they have the green light to use deadly force, they're going to use it, and they're going to use it expeditiously.
Mhm.
If you're threatening my girls, like you're gonna die, and you're gonna die good. But other than that, there is a protocol and kind of a limit. So definitely, like equip yourself and protect yourself. Like that's a given. You have a right to do that.
Like I know what Arkansas weapons law allows me to do in
Right.
self defense. When I can actually use deadly force, but if I don't have to, I'm still not going to. That's just my value system growing up. Like I don't want to kill anybody. So even though we're a stand your ground state and there is no duty to retreat, if I can retreat, I'm going to retreat. Like I don't want to murder. I don't want a body on my conscience. Like that's just I can't separate the two. So I try to teach people to do the same. Why would you unnecessarily want to go through all of that, the court system, therapy, because you killed a person you really didn't want to, when you could get away, even if the law says that you don't have to? That's what I do.
Right.
Hi, ma'am.
There's the dog. So your dog makes it into a lot of the content, and she's just going off. I love it.
Hey,
But
ma'am.
the bully, she makes it into a lot of content. What is her name, first of all?
Donna. LaDonna. Come here, girl. Her name is Donna.
So Donna LaDonna, she makes it into a
I
lot of
remember
the
Donna.
content. There's people out here who honestly believe that pit bulls are dangerous. I mean, she's a pit,
Yeah.
and I think the numbers do reflect that. But how do you kind of reconcile like, okay, I have this animal that's kind of known to be a little bit more dangerous, but you love her anyways. Like, how do you deal with that?
I have never experienced that ever. Not just with my dog, but like all of my well, I don't want to say all of my friends. A lot of my friends own bully breeds and pit
Hmm.
bulls, and I've never experienced like any type of aggression with any of those dogs. I am not aware of what the numbers say because I've never researched it actually, but it's like I feel like just like with humans, dogs are products of their environment. Like I read something that said that humans can be born with like a evil gene or something like that. I don't remember exactly what the evil gene is called, but it can be trained out of a person. So if it can be trained out of a person, then it can be trained out of a dog. And I've never experienced anything like that with any pit bull or bully breed. So I don't really think about it. She's not dangerous to me. So she's not dangerous to my family. She's not dangerous to children. She's not dangerous to elders. Everybody loves her. So I don't know.
Yeah, I know that's it's such an interesting topic because obviously that's the dog you love, and then you hear random stories about like, oh my gosh, this family dog attacked these people, and I don't know if it's specifically because pits are kind of sensationalized in the media, seen as kind of a dangerous animal, and I've this is gonna hopefully no one takes this out of context, but I've always considered pit bulls to kind of be like the black people of the dog world in the sense that they're misunderstood. You see them and you automatically have this fear response, and the media just loves to kind of hype them up as some sort of like vicious creature, and oftentimes they're misused. And so, and hopefully, no one takes that the wrong way
I
because
agree.
I don't mean it any type of like any type of way, but
Like
like
if you take it the wrong way, you kind of wanted to take it the wrong way.
I think
But
so too, but I like to cover my bases. Maybe I'm covering
yeah,
too much, and I need a little bit of sensational virality. Some negative feedback. This could be
it's
helpful.
good. Court attention at all costs.
Right. Unfortunately, but yeah, I mean, you said you feel that way as well.
Absolutely, yeah. I actually, y'all don't laugh at me. So I made my dog a Instagram page. Her
Really.
name is Yes, her name is LaDonna Mama. I actually just made it, but I made a reel on her Instagram page about that very topic, like kind of just being discriminated against because she's a pit bull and it was parallel to like the whole racism thing. So yeah, I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah,
Listen,
Randy,
I said
freaking Randy. That's going to be a clip. So, those of you who are watching, if you're not tapped in with Obsidian Training Group, he's one of the great supporters of the show, both on the podcast side and on the gun tuber side. If you're interested in firearms content at Armed Atlas, check me out. That said, if you aren't tapped in with ObsidianTrainingGroup.com, he's got great gear, fantastic gear, whether it's medical or I just literally I got a foregrip for my rifle, a couple different things. He actually sells different stuff. You should check him out. But
yeah,
code Armed Atlas gets you free shipping. So if you're like, oh, I could
I
just
got
go to
my
Amazon. Was that what'd you get from him?
pistols from him.
Did you order an Enigma from him or no?
I don't remember where I ordered my Enigma from, but I know
So
I got my certain pistols from him.
yeah, I mean that I think that's like the number one product that they sell on ObsidianTrainingGroup.com is the Enigmas. But yeah, the Cert pistols are dope. I kind of want one, but I don't think I need that with where I am right now and my training. But
Why you said it?
well, sorry, you went away for a second. Why do I say that I don't need a Cert pistol at this point? Okay, we're gonna give you a second to hop out and hop back in, and we'll get you in the show. Yeah. So like I said earlier, guys, if you're looking for any sort of gear, check out obsidiantraininggroup.com after the show, of course. And Armed Atlas gets you free shipping. Just peruse the website, and I think you're going to have a great time. So, looks like there's a tornado warning in this area, so that's going to be interesting. If for some reason my internet goes down,
Oh, right.
what's that?
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
We're back? Okay, cool. All right, I don't know what that was.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a tornado area in this tornado warning in this area. So just if my internet goes down, let me know.
I will. I got you. Oh, so okay. What all happened since the last time I've been on here?
Yes,
As of January, so I'm the state coordinator for Gun Owners of America's Empower 2A program,
that's
which is
awesome.
their women's education arm of Gun Owners of America. So I actually interviewed with Antonia Okafor Cover. She's the outreach director for the organization. So she made me the state director here. So I'll be hosting. I don't know if you saw those the Empower 2A event that I taught in Fort Worth, Texas.
Yeah.
So basically that, but I'm gonna do it in my home state. That's what that role is, and that started in January. Also, I'm starting a NAGA chapter here, an all women's NAGA chapter in Central Arkansas. So I'm getting that up and running, and we're probably going to have our first event either this month or in April. So this just started in January of this year, also. So those two things, GOA, NAGA. We're going to Essence Fest, so that's going to be super
What's
cool.
that? Where are you going?
Gun Owners of America. So we are going to teach a shooting event during Essence Fest in New Orleans this summer in June.
Essence Fest. I don't think I've heard of Essence Fest.
Really?
Yeah.
It's you should look it up. You should look it up. It's a very black event.
Okay. No,
So
I
yeah.
imagine.
So it's gonna be a lot of fun. And it's not like Essence Fest is not sponsoring this event, but we're teaching the event alongside Essence Fest because there are gonna be like a whole lot of black women in the area in New Orleans, like during that weekend. So that's gonna be super fun. It's me, Tig, Antonia, and Nina Brewer. So we're gonna have a lot of fun out there.
Man, you got the power squad over there. Tig,
It's
Antonia. I
gonna
don't
be
I don't know if I know Nina Brewer, but I'm sure you could tell me all about her.
she's an attorney and she's a friend of Antonia's. She's not
Okay.
a firearm. Yeah, she's not in
Okay.
like the 2A, but she's a 2A advocate. So she is an
Right.
advocate,
But
but she's
that's
not an
that's
instructor.
important too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I mean that's crazy. So not only have you been doing the firearms business, are you at a point in the firearms business where you're trying to, I guess, do that full time, or because I know you do the instructing, sorry, the online influencer thing as
Yeah.
well.
So actually, I was for a certain amount of time. I was a full time instructor. This was April 2021. Yeah. So in April 2021, I actually left like the corporate world and I was full time instructing. But then that same year in October, I got in a really bad car accident. So like I had to pretty much like I spent a lot of money like on medical bills and all of that. So I went back to the workforce at the top of last year just to kind of like get my savings back together. So right now I am I technically have two full time jobs because I'm teaching full time. I'm doing influencing alongside my business. I'm traveling and teaching classes, but I still work. So I'm like super duper busy all the time. Hopefully, I can get to this space where I can kind of let go of the corporate thing eventually. But it's cool right now because I'm a remote worker, so it's not that intrusive.
Nice. So back to the Essence Fest thing. Have you been down there before, or is this kind of like the first time?
It'll be my first time, yeah.
Excellent. So you're gonna get to go represent Empower 2A, which is Gun Owners of America's. I guess they kind of sponsor, support slash partially run that program. I can't remember exactly how Antonia described it, but it's like it's part of GOA.
Empowered 2A.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, it's a part of Gun Owners of America. It's their women's education arm of the organization.
Yeah, which I think that's awesome. I think every like gun organization needs to, and I'm sure most of them have, but they need to
Mm-hmm.
have a specific arm that really does focus on women and others who are kind of harder to reach. I thought it was amazing, the hard work that, let's say, USCCA has put into really trying to reach the black community. Like if you
Mm-hmm.
kind of take a look at their marketing, they've got a whole lot of awesome, powerful, black influencers who are about it. Like honestly about it. Like especially when you look at like, okay, Tig is like their poster child for like so many things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I
always
love. I think.
impressed. Yeah. And, for those who don't know, everyone on this live should know, and, who listens to the podcast should know about NAGA, the National African American Gun Association. I think they're freaking cool. I
Mm-hmm.
do, I constantly want to see more from them because I know they are a younger organization, but I think no matter if they're kind of still here or kind of still on the come up, we should support them as much as we can. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. I agree.
Have you had any,
Uh,
was that?
oh no, go ahead.
I was going to say, do you have any, I guess, have you had any interactions with NAGA?
Oh yeah, yeah. So I got to meet Phil at SHOT Show, so that was really cool. And
Excellent.
then I spoke to Tim Blackwell, who I believe his title is regional director. So he's the regional director in my area. That's who I've been working with to get my chapter up and running. So
Are you going to run the chapter, or are you going to get somebody else in it?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'll be the president of the chapter, but I have like somebody helping me run it, a vice president. She's also my RSO for my firearms school. Her name is Katrina Alexander, so she'll be doing both of those things. And then
My
Anthony
goodness.
Harlan, which y'all may know him as Darker Void on Instagram. So
Yeah, I know.
he's another one of
I
my
know Anthony.
RSOs, and he'll be a lead instructor for the gun club. So yeah.
That's insane. I don't know how you're going to have like, how are you going to sleep? You're literally doing too many things. But hey, if you can do it, like, we need you. So,
Man, I'm trying. I'm working on that, finding ways to get more sleep. But right now, probably like yeah, 5 6 hours maybe.
yeah, that's insane. No, if you guys
It's
have any
super great.
questions, make sure that you go ahead and fire them in, and we'll try to answer them as soon as possible. And
Yeah,
depending on how many you have, we may save some for the end. But if you just type Q and colon, we'll be able to kind of highlight them and make sure we get you. That said, I know you've come out with a couple different things. Some of your videos have gone incredibly viral in the millions of views. Let's talk about the ones that have done especially well. Why do you think they've done as well as they have? The ones that have cracked a million or gone above like 100,000 or whatever.
You know what's funny? Like I was saying earlier, how I'm really kind of tomboyish at heart. Like that's always been my vibe, my aesthetic. But I realized that people like looking at pretty people. So it's like the videos that go the most viral are the ones where I'm kind of dolled up, got makeup on, or like a nice fitted dress on, or something like that. It's the people are just visual. They all have visual appetite. So they're getting the knowledge, but when they have something to look at, it makes the video go up even more. And if you scroll through my feed, you can see the difference in the numbers. Like I have on this elegant purple dress, 309,000 likes or something like that the last time I checked. When I'm just like, oh, sweatpants or whatever, maybe like 20,000 or something like that. It's like an extreme difference.
Yeah,
So
no, that's
it's
wild, I guess.
definitely just the video.
And so speaking of like virality and just it just hitting the algorithm and going or maybe being shared, how are you kind of handling Instagram, especially because that's your platform of choice, locking down and it basically saying like if you show a firearm, if there's a picture or too much reference to gun, we're going to hit the brakes. We're going to basically throttle it, and they tell you that, and they allow you to appeal it. And depending on whoever reviews it, it may get through, it may not. But like, how are you handling Instagram's firearms policies? Because you do show guns.
Hmm. So I haven't had an issue. I haven't had an issue really with any of my videos getting removed just for having firearms in them. I guess because of the way that my platform is set up, that maybe they can kind of tell it's an educational page, and I'm not just on here like shooting at like inanimate objects for fun, like some psychopath or anything like that. Like I'm teaching people,
Whoa,
so
whoa!
maybe
Like,
it's
listen,
like I
we've
mean,
got
not
some cats in
listen.
the two. I mean, I'm not endorsing
I don't
what
think
they're
they're
doing.
psychopaths, but non-gun people look at us and think we're psychopaths when we're just having fun shooting things. So
Right. And
maybe,
speaking of somebody who has a lot of fun shooting things, and I think can be somewhat controversial even in the gun space. I've
yeah,
met him. He seems cool enough in person. Black Rambo. I was literally just on his page
very cool guy.
today. Huh?
Uh huh. He's very
And
cool.
yeah, yeah. I assume he's cool to hang out with. But I think sometimes it can be misinterpreted. Well, I don't know if it's misinterpreted, but I think a lot of people can interpret what he's doing and not quite understand, I suppose, his purpose and what
Hmm.
he's trying to do. And when you're in your
Yeah,
mind, what do you think he's trying to do in the 2A space?
I think that he's just trying to normalize it. Like firearms have always been a part of America's culture. You know, like there's no reason why it can't be used for like sportsmanship or just fun, or you can't just like any other people have fetish is not the word that I'm looking for because that just sounds so derogatory. But people collect knives. People collect like all types of dangerous things. But when it comes to firearms, it's like you're loony if you're having fun with guns, and I just really don't agree with that sentiment. I think the fact that he can just get on his platform and have fun with firearms and be safe and show people that like oh, it's not all about, negativity and murder or whatever the case may be. It's just kind of normalizing it in a sense. So, yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully people don't hear me and think that I'm either trying to denigrate him or promote him because I think he's doing his own thing and what I'm doing and I think what you're doing are somewhat different, and like clearly different in the sense that what you do is I'd say 99% education, and
Yeah.
there is some having fun, but I think most of your having fun is like recognized drills and whatnot versus just like, hey, I'm going to take the shotgun and shoot it. And I think my personally my biggest issue with Black Rambo is he needs to be a little bit more keen on like, hey, two hands on the gun. But
Yeah.
you know,
But this is having fun. So they're not like educators, they're not firearms instructors, not political
right?
activists. Like, oh, it's a hobby. So I think there's
Sure.
kind of there another whole separate lane for just that.
Yeah, I
Like,
would say so, and I think maybe it would be good if there was just something in there that said like, hey, what we're doing is just for fun. Probably don't try this at home, But if you want to learn how to use the guns properly, like following all the rules of the road per se, hit up the homie, Dez, Nina De La Flores. Hit up, you say, Barber, Trey Barber from Barber Training Solutions, amazing competition shooter, silly fast. Like his
I
speed is
actually get
insane.
to go train with him in April, and I'm super excited about it. I can't wait. So
He'll
I'm
get
gonna
you
go
right.
take some,
He'll get you
yeah,
right.
some competition with him next month. The same time that I'm down there to teach that everyday carry techniques class
Hmm.
in Rock Hill, South Carolina, I'm gonna be training with him the day before. So that's gonna be super fun. I'm
Excellent.
slowly making my rounds, trying to train with all the people that I've been wanting to for the last couple of years, but I've just been too busy.
Cool, cool. I know you had said something to me in the DMs talking about something that you were developing. Are you able to talk about some of those things yet, or are they still kind of in the hush hush phase?
Uh, I don't know. I don't want to talk about it just yet. But
Okay,
the next time we get on here, I may be able to. But it's two things that like I'm super excited about, but they haven't exactly like started or like they're not already in the works. So I don't really want to jump the gun.
for
But
sure.
I do want to tell y'all, I'm not holding back purposefully. I just don't think it's like time yet.
Yeah. So for those who are listening, make sure you're following Nina De La Flores on Instagram because she's got some stuff that she's working on, and I think it'll be helpful to you and the people that you love. So keep an eye out for that. Now there
Absolutely.
are a whole lot of questions, and you know what?
Ooh,
Excuse me. I apologize. Clearing my throat all up in the mic.
so blind. I can't even see that.
So he says, I put Black Rambo in the same category as Demolition Ranch, FPS Russia, more fun than educational. And I get
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah. That's why I'm like, it's kind of like a whole just separate lane because you have the activism aspect where the people aren't really. I mean, they train, but like on their platform, they're just being activists. You have that. You have the educators on the platform, and you have the people who are just like, it's a hobby. Like I'm having fun with firearms, and I'm
Yeah.
just kind of normalized that way. So yeah, I agree.
So, unfortunately, we're going to have to probably end this a little sooner than I want to. I'm hearing the wind outside. It's kind of going nuts. But I'm going
Oh,
to
it's
save these
no,
questions. Yeah. But I'm going to save these questions because I want to maybe get with you and answer some of these questions and actually make a quick video about it if we can maybe figure out a way. So, for
oh
those who
yeah.
are watching or listening, make sure you're subscribed and we'll go ahead and maybe put a quick video out when we get a chance answering some of these questions for the people. So,
Absolutely. Y'all be safe over there.
yeah, but tell people where they can find you.
So I'm getting my YouTube channel up and going this year. So I'm getting there, y'all. I know a lot of people have been asking me about it, but it's going to be the same as my Instagram username, which is Nina De La Flores.
Nice. So, at Nina De La Flores on all the platforms. And until next time, keep it costly.
See y'all.